After the last two gravel events in Greece and Cyprus, the ERC is back on tarmac. Welcome to the FIA European Rally Championship 2018. This is round 5 in Italy. And for the second year in a row, Rome will host Rally di Roma Capitale. With bumpy, tricky roads, hot weather, plenty of fans, this is the second edition of Rally di Roma Capitale in the ERC calendar, and it's going to be once again a tremendous event. Everything is set for a cracking rally. But first, let's have a look at the previous rounds on the 2018 calendar. And Bruno Magalhaes, leader since last time in Cyprus, having a good first half of the season. 1 victory in Greece, 2 podiums in the Azores and Cyprus, and a 6th position in the Canary Islands. The Russian rocket Alexei Lukyanuk started the season in style with wins on the first 2 rallies in the Azores and the Canary Islands. He's won 22 of the special stages so far. 2 retirements in Greece and in Cyprus, but now trails Bruno Magalhaes in the championship by 15 points. Last time in Cyprus, it was Simos Galaterios. His 4th overall, winner on his home soil by only 0.6 of a second over Bruno Magalhaes. He was 5th in Greece, but didn't compete in the Azores and in the Canary Islands. As you can see there on the points, Bruno Magalhaes leading with 98 points in the championship. Let's hear what these drivers have to say ahead of Rome.
I want to start the second part of the championship with a good result. The most important thing is score points for the championship. The last 2 events you made very good results, so I hope to make a good rally. Last year you were 3rd in this event, so I hope to make a good rally, try to go fast. For sure it will be tough for everybody, but we are confident that you can make a good job.
It's like 50-50 for rallies, 2 wins, 2 retirements. Actually, we had really bad luck on Cyprus and in Greece, so assuming that it was not our direct fault, so we look quite optimistic forward. Here I have my own goals, not to fight with locals, but to beat my competitors in the championship. So I'll try to be wise and follow our plan.
But Magalhaes and Lukyanuk are not the only drivers to watch here in Rally di Roma Capitale. The level of the field is very impressive, with 32 R5 cars and 20 drivers in the under 27 and under 28 class competing here this weekend. Nikolai Gryazin was 5th overall in the championship heading into Italy, considered by Lukyanuk himself as one of the possible ERC title contenders this season. He was 2nd on the Canary Islands. Gian Domenico Basso, an Italian legend driving the Fabia R5, competing here this weekend thanks to Zelindo Malagari withdrawing from the event. Zelindo's a regular in ERC2, but giving up his place for Basso. Then we've got the under 28 and under 27 contenders. Fabian Crime and Martin Sex and Simon Wagner in the under 27 class. Just like last year, the ceremonial start was in the centre of Rome. And a great one on the calendar for the drivers is the City Parade, which is the Tour of Rome, which gives the drivers the opportunity after the podium to go over and drive around the cobbles on the streets of Rome without any traffic jams, which is pretty unique in here.
It's really fun because it's like one of the year you can drive into Rome without traffic jams, sometimes with the sliding, so you know it's really fun and it's like miracle.
A ceremonial start took place in the city centre, close to the Castle St. Angelo on Friday afternoon, just a few metres away from the Piazza San Pietro and the Vatican just down the road. After the ceremonial start, it was over the ramp and onto the streets of Rome for the city tour. Always an amazing experience to see these cars heading through the streets of Rome, taking in a few of the world-famous landmarks in this part of Italy. And after all that, it was the start order selection. Fastest in the qualifying stage was Nikolai Gryazin. He chose to go fourth on the road. Alexei Lukanek, second quickest in qualifying, chose fifth. Championship leader Bruno Magalhaes opted for second position on this tarmac sealed surface event. Opening the road, first on it, will be Paolo Andreucci. Like in 2017, hundreds of spectators gathered a few kilometres from the city centre at the ACI Roma Arena to watch the first stage of the event. An all-spectator spectacular stage just 1.8 kilometres in length in front of the enthusiastic crowd. Slot car racing side by side. Up and down in the evening's sunshine. Nikolai Gryazin was fastest through, just like last year. So kicking off the rally in style in the centre of Rome, it was then down south for leg number one, which continued on Saturday morning. Beautiful day. 26 degrees Celsius was the forecast for Saturday during leg number one. 3 stages back to back to service, and then 4 stages in the afternoon. So the long road section down south from Rome to Fuji, which is where the service park is based. And then the first 3 stages of the event proper up in the hills. First on the road, Paolo Andreucci. The 10-time Italian champion was first on the road, 4th fastest for him in stage number 2, but then dropping down a bit against the other competitors and was 9th quickest in stage number 3. Stage number 8, he was 8th fastest. Stage number 4, he was 8th fastest. And 5th overall after 4 stages. In Italy, second on the road was Bruno Magalhaes.
Atenção à travagem e no topo esquerda 2, longa cedo, abre e pisa cedo, para a direitinha, 70 pela esquerda.
Not the perfect morning or the perfect start for Bruno. He said the car was too soft. It was moving around a little bit too much in the stages, so he didn't have the confidence as the nose of the Fabi was dipping into the ground when he was braking and also rocking back and forth on the corners. He was 10th quickest in stage number 2. Some issues with the car in stage 3 and 4, with it being too soft. 8th overall.
But here is more difficult because we have a lot of drivers, always very fast. I have lost a lot of time in the first stage, but it's like that.
Fastest in the qualifying stage and 4th on the road is Nikolai Gryazin. He was 3rd quickest in stage number 2 and took it smoothly this morning. Really? Second overall before the last stage of the loop. But this happened. Power steering failure. It looks quite dramatic here. So this is the fluid from the power steering pump pouring onto the hot engine and igniting for a moment. As a result of stopping in the stage and putting the fire out, drops Gryazin now down to 22nd in the standings, having to complete the rest of the morning's loop with no power steering. Hard work in the heat of the summer sunshine.
It started burning, so we stopped to stop the fire, and after I understood that it's okay, we can go, and we start after Luginiuk, but I have no power steering. It's very difficult to drive, so yeah, I think we lost too much.
Second quickest on the qualifying stage and electing to go 5th on the road this morning. Great start to Alexei Lukiniuk.
80 трамплин влево 1 минус, направо 1 минус, 120.
He was second quickest in the second stage of the rally, despite some brake issues at the end of the stage, just overdriving the car a little bit and a little bit dependent on the brake, even though it's not evident on these onboard shots that we've got here. The Russian rocket reacts in stage number 3 and stage 4 and blitzes everybody else and sets the fastest time in both stages. Lukiniuk now leads the rally. Coming to the end of the stage, let's hear what he has to say after the morning's run.
Actually, I was planning just to fight with Bruno and Gryazin, so now we really can relax and give this rally to locals and just go to finish.
8th on the road this morning and back after missing the last 2 rounds on the ERC. Chris Ingram from the UK is back again, having medical problems when he withdrew from the rally in Canary Islands, being treated in hospital in Turkey. He's back and back in the car. 7th fastest in stage 2 and 3, 5th fastest in stage number 4. He's getting more confidence in the R5 car after winning the Junior Championship last season. Giandomenico Basso, ERC champion in 2006 and 2009. Basso's 11th on the road today. Struggling in the opening test of the day, 4th fastest in that one.
Anticipa, sinistra, destra 3 sì, interno, sinistra, addosso, in destra 2, sinistra dossetto, destra 1, a sinistra.
Basso pushing hard in stage 3 and 4. He was 3rd fastest in those stages, 3rd overall in the standings after stage number 3.
Sinistra 3, storta, anticipa destra, attenzione, sinistra 1 interno.
Basso's 14 seconds ahead of Ingram. 12th on the road this morning is Simone Campidelli, driving the Fiesta. Had an impressive start for the 31-year-old driver.
Tonda, checa, super 1A, in. Super
He sets the fastest time in stage number 2 and was 2nd fastest in stage number 4 and 2nd overall. Now Laurent Pellier, who won driving the R2 Peugeot 208 in Cyprus last time in a different class. Pellier's back in the R5 this weekend. The 4-wheel drive fire-breathing T16, and he's off the road. Disappointment, crash with the French driver, off in stage number 3. 4 stages completed on Rome, and Lukiniuk is leading comfortably by 14.7 seconds. Simone Campidelli is 2nd overall. Giandomenico Basso is 3rd. In a minute, we'll be back in Italy for the 2nd loop on day number 1. is a repeat of the morning stages coming up. Welcome back to round 5 of the European Rally Championship. This is leg 1 of the tricky, technical Rally di Roma Capitale.
Derecha de nada corta, la derecha de nada corta, para sube piso bueno, con izquierda cortando puede sucia.
And from Argentina, it's Juan Carlos Alonso in the ERC2 category. Leading that this morning, Sergei Remenik, the championship leader, having a torrid time this weekend in Italy. Tibor Erdi drove consistently during leg 1 despite some brake and differential issues. So hot here in Italy and the brake discs are so small on these big Mitsubishis, he overcooking the brakes and spent most of the day with nothing to stop the car apart from the gearbox. Florian Bernardi in ERC3. Championship leader in ERC3 is struggling with his rear dampers in the car. Nevertheless, he leads his category over the Italians. The under-27 drivers are back for their 3rd rally of the season after the Azores and the Canary Islands. Junior Championship wasn't competing in Greece and Cyprus, so here we are on the sealed surface of Italy. Let's see what the under-27 drivers have to think about this event. And Dominic Broz from the Czech Republic was back with a vengeance this weekend, but had an off early on day number 1. Into the hedge, selected first, and into the hedge a little bit further. Simon Wagner, Friday night in Rome was kind of night that he wanted to forget. Having his recce car broken into and all his pace notes, laptop computer, stolen in the centre of Rome. Having to stay up all night to rewrite the pace notes from watching onboard footage. Nevertheless, he got a win in stage number 2, but crashed in stage number 3. Lost all hope of a good result. An event he wants to forget. Tom Christensen sporting the sunglasses as usual, the Opel Adam Works driver. Getting used to the varying conditions on the stages this morning, even having a few raindrops. And a big spin. Very, very lucky to get away with this one. But despite the small mistake and the quick 180, Christensen's off. Sindre Furseth from Norway, another good start to this Norwegian driver, who scored top 3 finishes in every stage up until stage number 7. However, made a mistake in stage number 4. Just turning a little bit early into a road junction, mishearing the pace note being fired across at him. No damage and only a few seconds dropped. He was 2nd in the under-27 class. Now this guy, Martin Seks, the 18-year-old Latvian driver. An impressive run so far from him. Stayed out of all trouble all day. 5 stage wins out of 7 for Martins. Very satisfied with his day. He comfortably leads after leg number 1. Great opportunity to take some championship points in the under-27 class here in Italy. We're back with the top contenders of the rally. With a brace of R5 cars firing their way up this beautiful countryside here in Italy. 4 stages still to go on leg number 1. And we're repassing, taking a run through the morning stages, rerun in the afternoon. Stage 5, 6 and 7 coming up. And then we've got the super stage at the end of the day, just a short 2.5 kilometre stage. But Simone Campidelli is into the stage and picks up a puncture in stage number 5 and drops him down to 3rd overall. Had a puncture in stage 6 as well and had to retire for the day. Bruno Magalhaes setting the car up in service to make it a little bit stiffer, but then the car cuts out in stage number 7. Trying to restart it. For no reason they're having to reset the Fabian. He's 6th overall after leg number 1. Grzegorz Zib from Poland. Great start to the Polish driver so far. 3rd fastest for him in stage 5, 6 and also stage number 7. He's 4th overall, 6.2 seconds ahead of Andrucini. Fabian Crime was 6th fastest in stage 5. He's 4th quickest in stage 6 and 2nd quickest in stage 7, so improving all day here, getting better and better as the rally goes on. Crime is up to 3rd overall at the end of the day, battling hard. Gian Domenico Basso is very impressive in the 2nd loop. 5th quickest in stage number 5, fastest in stage 6 and 7. But Basso is 4th quickest in stage number 8 to end the day. Big attack to reduce the gap between him and Lukanuk. He wants the win here in Rome.
Everything okay, we are happy. The timing is very high, but we are pushing.
And also pushing hard is Alexei Lukanuk. He was fastest in stage number 5 again. He was 7th quickest though in stage 6 and 7. And also stage number 8, the last short stage of the day. So Lukanuk leads after leg number 1 in Italy.
Yeah, we have some reasons for that. In the end of the first stage of this loop, the roll bar at the back was broken. So I was not going to tell anybody because I was like feeling that everybody can try to push and catch me.
So Lukanuk taking a good approach there, not telling us at the stage ends that he had problems with the rear anti-roll bar of the car, otherwise everybody else would have heard that on the jungle drums and battered him off the top step of the podium. That's a comfortable lead of 15.8 seconds at the end of leg number 1. Simone Campidelli have to retire from 2nd position, having no spare tyres on his car. What will happen next? Welcome back to Italy, and after an eventful day number 1, we continue up here in the hills, south of Rome, for the 3rd sealed surface event of the season. This is the map for the day. 3 stages, back to service, and then the long road section to the last stage of the day on the seafront in Ostia. But stage number 9 had to be cancelled, unfortunately. Rallying is so popular here in Italy, there were so many spectators in the longer stage of the day. It was cancelled and all drivers moved on to the 2nd stage of the day. So we're on board now with Bruno Magalhães. For day number 2, the top 10 drivers are in reverse order. So Bruno Magalhães is 5th on the road today. Still not happy with the balance of the car on stage number 10. He was 7th quickest anyway. And 7th fastest in stage number 11 as well. The Italian driver Paolo is back. 6th on the road today. He's royalty in Italy. He has 10 domestic wins to his name. And after a crash earlier in the week, which fractured his co-driver's pelvis, he's got a new co-driver to get used to this weekend. They last drove together in 1994. Clean run, big push from him. 6th quickest in stage 11 and 4th overall in the rally. Third overall in the rally is Grzegorz Zib from Poland. Fifth fastest in stage number 10. Made a few mistakes, but no big moments.
Hamowanie prawe 3 czasne, krótki 120. Wczesne hamowanie w prawe krótki powoli, do razu lewy 1, zajebiście ciasny.
Improving and made a better run in stage 11. He was fifth fastest in stage 11. Third overall at the end of the loop, and just 5.9 seconds ahead of Paolo.
Lewy 6, długi zacisk, 80.
From Germany, Fabian Kreim was 8th on the road today. Just look at the speed here in the hills. Armco barriers on the right and left. Super quick on the tarmac. Fabian Kreim was third overall at the end of leg number 1, was battling with Zib all the way. 12th fastest he was in stage number 1, though not fast. Not a great start for him. Had no faith in the pace notes, he was saying.
When you don't have the trust to your own pace notes, so you're struggling with yourself, and then yeah, it's going step by step.
Basso, 9th on the road, 2nd in the rally. He's also got a new co-driver for this event and is struggling just a little bit with the pace notes. However, a great start to the day for Basso. He was quickest in stage number 10, but then second fastest in stage number 11. Basso is pushing hard to catch Lukanuk.
Now it was not perfect in this stage, but I push it.
He's pushing Lukanuk, dialing up the heat just a little bit. Beautiful part of the world in Italy. Let's see what happens next. This is Italy for Rally Roma di Capitale. And Lukanuk leading the rally. Wants to take the lead of the championship as well. Snatched that away from Bruno Magalhaes here on leg number 2. 10th on the road today. He was fastest in stage number 10. Lukanuk again makes no mistakes.
На левый 3 длины 40 с доворотом, на правый 3-4 поздний. На левый 1, 40, левый 4 плюс.
Coming into stage 11, Basso was 6.3 seconds behind Lukanuk, so Basso's having to turn up the heat on Lukanuk to push a little bit harder. Lukanuk reacted in stage number 11 and then set the fastest time. The last stage win he got was on stage number 5 during leg number 1. Nearly hitting the limiter on the R5 Fiesta. At the end of the stage, Lukanuk leads the rally by 7.5 seconds ahead of Basso.
Правый 1 минус через трамплин, налево 1 длинный. На правый 0,80 ретардер справа.
Coming to the end of the stage now. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay, I don't want to take any risks, to be honest. I just trying to reach the finish. So anyway, if he will go faster, I will not much. So
60, правый 7 плюс. 200.
Lukanuk's thinking of the championship long term rather than the win here in Rome. Nikolai Gryazin was fastest in the qualifying stage and had an impressive start to the rally and would have been giving Lukanuk a little bit of a run for the money. However, having the problems with the power steering pump in day number 1, dropping a bucket load of time. He's 11th on the road today is Gryazin. He's 27th overall at the end of the day. However, he was second quickest in stage number 10. So Lukanuk leads by 7.5 seconds over Basso. Zib is in third. The battle continues here in Italy as we head on this classic tarmac event. Let's see what will happen when we come back for 4 more stages on round 5 of the championship. Welcome back to the conclusion of Rally di Roma Capitale. Round 5 of the ERC, we're on tarmac and we're starting the back half of the season. In ERC2 and ERC3 now, let's have a look with that. Sergei Remennik was having kind of rally that he just wanted to forget about. Crashing his regular car in a pre-event test earlier in the week, this car was sourced from Latvia. The guys had to go up there specially to pick it up, a 30-hour round trip. Anyway, as a result, he's lost the lead of the championship, not getting used to that. A new driver here on the ERC, this is Jabba from Hungary. Started his career in 2003 and had always wanted to compete on the ERC by watching the TV programmes that we produce. Got the budget and came here this weekend to have a go. Tibor Erdi, comfortable lead after leg number 1 despite no brakes. Managing to just make sure those brakes were working in leg number 2 by not overcooking the brake discs. Comes to win Rally di Roma Capitale for the 2nd time. He did this last year as well. Great stuff for Tibor. Sergei Remennik loses the lead of the ERC2 championship. Tibor takes the lead one more time. Only by 4 points between Erdi and Remennik. Juan Carlos Alonso having to retire on the road section on day number 1. With no spare tyres after suffering a double puncture. And then Florian Bernardi from France in ERC3. Great stage for him, great run, going to lead that, but 500 metres from the end of the last big stage of the event, he's out. Mishearing a pace note from his co-driver, it was his mistake. This is the 3rd round of the ERC Junior Championship this season. And after an eventful leg number 1 with early exits for Bros, Wagner and for Sith, and some spectacular spins, it was off onto leg number 2 with Mata Vita. 2nd appearance for him on this event. Didn't really all go to plan as his exhaust manifold broke. Losing power and risking burning the car as well. Nursing that through the back half of leg number 1. Efren Lorena, after that massive smash that he had on his home soil in the Canary Islands last time, Sarah Fernandez is recovered and co-driving Lorena here. 2 stage wins for him in stage number 12 and stage number 14. Big battle for 2nd place with Tom Christiansen, but finally has to settle for 3rd overall. It's his 2nd podium after finishing 2nd on the opening round of the season in the Azores. The Swedish driver Tom Christiansen had no stage wins on leg number 2, but nevertheless a solid drive with a neck-and-neck battle against Peugeot driver Lorena to clinch that 2nd position overall. It was the first podium for the Swedish driver, who finished 4th on the 2nd round of the season in Gran Canaria. But with 2 more stage wins for Martin Sex on leg 2, in stage 10 and stage 11, clinched the lead of the under-27 class, the junior championship after stage number 3, and was never threatened after that. The Opel Works driver had an impressive start for the Latvian driver, winning his 1st podium this season.
The weekend has been amazing, and I was waiting for this moment quite a long time. But yeah, I'm very happy, and thanks to the team, thanks to my coach, thanks to the family and everyone who is supporting us and is with us now.
Fantastic results for him. He came here last year as part of the ERC Junior experience and was doing his recce's, not competing here. A year later, he wins his first junior round, driving for a works team, and takes the lead of the championship as well. Good on him. 94 points from Martin Sex. Diogo Gargo second overall in the standings now. So with 4 stages left to go in Rome, Stage 12 will be the first pass of the longest stage of the event. It was run earlier in the day as stage number 9, but that had to be cancelled due to spectators. So the first chance for the drivers to get their teeth stuck into the 28.6 kilometre stage. Paolo Andrucci in the 208 T16, that unique raspy sound of the Peugeot as it comes through the stages, but doing well. However, it all went wrong on stage number 13. Unlucky for some, and unlucky for Paolo as well. Car stopped, his rally's out. So Bruno made some changes during service, and he said that the car feels better. So much so, he's 26.7 seconds from the top 5 with 3 stages to go. He was 8th quickest in stage 14, driving very safe to grab and score some points here in Italy for the championship.
You know that the Italian championship is one of the best championships on tarmac. You need to go completely flat out, and I have done very good times in some stages. I was not so regular because I was changing a lot the car, but finally I think I have a good compromise.
Fabian Crime leading the under-28 class overnight and was 7th fastest in stage number 12 and 9th quickest in stage number 14, and is feeling better this morning with the car. He's focusing on that under-28 podium rather than the top step of the podium here. Overall, no mistakes, little lack of confidence this weekend in Italy. Nevertheless, he's doing well.
At the end, we could be quite happy. It was a very difficult weekend for us until now, but we learned a lot, and yeah, so we're looking really forward to the next asphalt challenge.
The next asphalt challenge is, of course, the Barham Czech Rally's Lynn at the end of the month. Clean run for Grzegorz Zib. 8th quickest in stage number 12. 6th fastest in stage number 14. Polish driver is 3rd overall at the end of the rally. He's 12.3 seconds ahead of Fabian Crime. Absolutely fantastic performance for him this weekend. Zib coming to the last big stage of the event. See the hay bales put in here by the organisers just to slow down the average speed of the cars on the long straights up here in the hills south of Rome. See the speed in the telemetry on the bottom right of your screen. Zib not on the limiter, and very limited use of the brakes here. Comes to the end of the stage, let's hear what he has to say. This is Zib.
That is a beautiful weekend for us. We drive a very good speed. We don't do it many mistakes. Okay, we do it small mistake, but everybody do it that, I think so. And we are happy. Car working well. My team prepared perfect car for us.
Third fastest in stage number 12, Gian Domenico Basso, the Italian driver, on his home soil. Despite getting stuck behind Paolo Andrucci's car in stage number 13, he was awarded a nominal time through the stage. A little bit of misfortune for the two-time ERC champion, who could not properly fight with Lukanuk in stage 9 due to it being cancelled, and then stage 13 being neutralised. He wanted to battle properly down to the wire with Alexei Lukanuk, but in the end had to concede for second overall in the standings.
A little unlucky because 2 stages cancelled. Yeah. Unlucky. Really? But we are happy.
So that left it all open up for Alexei Lukanuk.
100 правый, 5 длинный.
We're on board with him now. He was 4th fastest in stage number 12. Just 0.8 of a second behind Basso, who was pushing hard with him.
На левый 2 минус поздний, 50, левый 3 держать.
Lukanuk set the fastest time in stage 14.
30, правый 5 плюс поздний.
Just 1.2 seconds quicker than Basso, though.
На левый 2 плюс через трамплин. Направо 1, налево 1, 150.
So after winning the opening round in the Azores in March and the Canary Islands in May, Lukanuk wins Rally Roma di Capitale. The perfect weekend for the Russian rocket, who takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship, snatches it away from Bruno Magalhaes at the end of round 5.
I was really, worried before the stage, because if you make small mistake, you can ruin everything we did in this weekend. But it worked well. We had big fun, and I'm really proud for our performance.
So the battle all the way down to the wire, but Lukanuk was dominant from the start to finish here. All 15 stages in Italy. 7.5 seconds was the gap between Basso and Lukanuk at the end of it. Gib was just 4.2. Gib was 3rd overall on that podium. And now let's look at the championship standings. Lukanuk catapulted into the lead now with 120 points. Bruno Magalhaes just lying 9 points behind him now as we head towards round 6 of the championship. Lukanuk's 3rd victory in 5 rallies this season. The 2006 and 2009 ERC champion is 2nd in the podium, and it is the 2nd podium for Grzegorz Gib, wrapping up the 1, 2, 3. But for Lukanuk, the celebrations continue for the Russian Great Weekend. So Italy wrapped up on the sealed surface here. Next up, the ERC circus continues its European adventure as we head to the Barham Czech Rally Zlin. It can only be the classic event in the hills. As the summer continues and rolls on, Barham is next. We'll see you in a few weeks. From all of us, goodbye.